Hi everyone, this is Sharon Crafty Acres. This evening we're putting in our potatoes. I already did the red Pontiac. You can see that row all the way down. And the ground actually worked up pretty well. These potatoes have actually been ready. We cut them apart. We cut them into pieces about 2 weeks ago. It's been about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and we were going to plant them in the greenhouse. Then came a strong rain the night that we were planting them, and by the time I got off work, I work at home, but by the time I got off work, it was already downpour, so we couldn't put it in. And we don't have the greenhouse wrapped, so I couldn't go down there and do it at that time. So I'm waiting for the ground to dry. It dried up, we got it rototilled, and we're putting them back into the main garden. So I just did the first row. We weren't sure if they were going to be very good because, like I said, we had cut them a couple weeks ago, but I think they turned out pretty good. Let me show you what we have here. So basically, these are the red Pontiacs, and they have really good eyes on them. They are shriveling up a little bit, but you want them to skin over before you put them in the ground, so they're fine. And then the eyes have grown on some of them, and that's just fine as well. Now this one has shriveled up a bit, so there's not as much moisture to feed it, but that's okay. I think they'll be just fine. The growth looks really good on them. So I'm just going to tuck them back into the ground here. Let me show you how I do that. I just kind of put them right down in the bottom of this trench here, and then we'll hill them up real high as we can hill them, right over the potatoes. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I amended the soil in this next trench. I always do one trench and then I amend and plant, and then I do the next one because I never know how many rows I'm going to need specifically. Now these, we are putting them a little bit closer together. Normally I do between my middle finger and my thumb, which is about 6 to 8 inches. This time we're doing it 2 to 4 inches because they're, when we cut our potatoes apart between the eyes, we normally we leave 1 or 2 good eyes per sprout, per potato slice. And because these have sat around for a little bit, we don't know if they're going to germinate as well or grow as healthy as plants. So just to hedge our bet, we just went ahead and plant them a little bit closer. And so that's what we're doing. Okay, let's get busy on the next one. Okay, so I have a couple of things I'm amending the soil with. I have blood meal, and you can get any variety that you want. This is just regular old blood meal. And then I have wood ashes right out of the wood burning stove. So, and this is just an old bag of fertilizer, but it was empty, and it's easier to work out of this bag and just sprinkle it along than it is to work out of this bucket. So basically what I'm going to do is, if you can see, I'm just going to sprinkle it along like this, all the way down. And I'm just showing you up close here. We're going to do the same thing with both of them. Just a nice little sprinkling. Now I'm just going to go ahead and go into fast speed, and I'm just going to walk along and sprinkle it. Okay, now we're going to get ready to plant these. And so we like to cut them up in little chunks, and just leaving an eye or two. This is what's called an eye. Let me see if I can get closer so you can see. This is called an eye. And so you just want to make sure you have 1 or 2 good eyes per potato slice. Now I know people And that they'll just take a little tiny potato slice and just a little sliver with the eye, plant their potatoes that way, and then that night they'll have potatoes to eat. They'll take the rest of the potato that was left over and eat that for their supper. Make mashed potatoes out of them. You can do that. I've always done it. My dad always taught us to just cut the potato up in sections and plant them. So that's the way I do it. And again, I'm just putting them 4 to 6 inches apart, which is about from the tip of my thumb to the tip of my finger, first finger apart, and nestle it down into the trench, and then we'll hill them up when we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and get this row planted, and we'll see you back here. Okay, now we have all the potatoes planted. All we have to do is cover them. And all you do to do that is you pull some soil from both sides of the trench right up on top. And I'll just do this portion so that you get the idea. And then you come back and you pull from the other side. And that's all you do. Now, I'll get down here so I can talk to you. Now, that's all you do. All you have to do is wait for them they can water themselves in with the rain that is coming up. We have like 4 days worth of rain coming up. Hopefully it's not going to be so much rain that it ends up rotting the potatoes. That's the worst part about this, is if you get a heavy amount of rain, then you could end up rotting the potatoes. It's about a 50-50 chance. But with these guys having such long eyes, I think they'll be fine. Every section of an eye, wherever that's where a root will be, and then the green leaves, the plant itself will come out of the ground. Now the last thing I would do is, once we get them hilled up, I don't have to do it tonight. I really don't have time to do it tonight. There's a couple more projects I want to get done. But the last thing I would do is I would take grass clippings, dry grass clippings, and just topple your hill with it, your mound with it. That way it suppresses any weeds. It's a whole lot easier because it's hard to weed a hill. And inside this hill is where the potatoes are going to be growing. So you don't really want to mess with your hill that much if you can. If you can at all prevent it. And we don't do anything to our grass. We just let it grow a little bit taller so that we can rake it up and use the grass clippings in our gardens as weed prevention, basically. And it adds tilth to the soil. It improves the soil, and little by little. So that's all there is to planting potatoes. It's pretty easy peasy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like it, go ahead and like and subscribe. Put it in the bottom, in any comments in the bottom. What are your favorite potatoes to grow? We have Yukon Gold and Red Pontiac that we're growing here. And but we do like other ones. And just let me know what your favorite ones are and how do you like to plant them. All right, see you guys later. That's all for this evening.